Okay, tell me about your story in Africa.
You gonna hold it like that while I tell the story?
Yeah, I can see your face right here in the back.
Well, we're stationed in Sierra Leone. Today it's recommended that it's the second worst country in the world to live in. I think at that time it was the worst. And there's approximately 300 of us. On different days there might be more or less. And we were in a place that was nicknamed at that time the White Man's Grave. And there was one fella in our crowd that everyone called Digger. It was Digger do this and Digger do that, and how are you today, Digger, and hello, Digger. So one time when I got him by himself, I said, I want to ask you something. And he said, yeah, what is it? I said, everyone is calling you Digger. How come? He said, I am one. I said, you're a digger? He said, yeah. I said, how come? Why are they calling you Digger? He said, I'm from Australia. He said, and everyone down there are diggers. And he said, we all like to be called diggers. He said, we love it. I said, is that right? Yeah, and I said, well, you don't mind if I call you Digger? No, he said, I want you to call me Digger. Fine. And he said, by the way, he said, everyone calls you Newf. How come? I said, I'm a Newf. He said, well, how come? I said, I'm from Newfoundland. Oh. He said, you're from one end of the world and I'm from the other end. And he said, you like to be called a Newf? I said, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love being called a Newf. So he said, you'd like for me to call you a Newf? I said, yes. So we shook hands on it, and he was, from then on, he was Digger and I was the Newf. But Digger never came out of Africa. He went in the White Man's Grave.
Stayed there.
And after I realized that I should have got his right name from him as well, his proper name, and that if I had it I could have wrote to his parents and told them that I knew Digger and that he was a nice fella and we got along well together. That was the only misgiving I had about not knowing his right name. And I'm still a Newf, and I'll always be a Newf, and I hope my children will follow in my footsteps and be Newfs as well.
What about in Scotland?
The story in Scotland? Well, I got off the train in Aberdeen one time, and I was supposed to meet my brother Leo at a restaurant in the late afternoon. So it was before noon when I got off the train, so I wandered around Aberdeen and looked at the city until the middle of the afternoon, and then I wandered over to the restaurant where I was supposed to meet my brother.